film opens on a blustery evening. Tess Marshall, Georgina Campbell, shows up at an Airbnb that she booked at 467 Barbary Road. Yet, as she attempts to check in, she can't find the house key or reach out to whoever booked her. Before she leaves, she sees a light turn on in the house and she rings the chime. A man named 𝐒𝐚𝐬𝐡𝐭𝐚𝐫𝐜𝐡 Bill Skarsgård replies, and he says he booked the house too. Since they can't arrive at the bookers, Keith welcomes Tess to remain while they attempt to get things arranged. Tess can't book a lodging elsewhere, so she scrubs down and is welcomed by Keith to share a container of wine. She makes sense of that. She is meeting with a movie producer named Bonnie Zane, Sophie Sorensen, for a new employee screening. Keith says he has seen her last film, notwithstanding Tess thinking no other individual would have seen it, just a tad prior to hitting the sack. During the evening, Tess awakens to hear Keith heaving in his rest, probable because of night dread. She attempts to awaken him, however winds up surprising the two of them. Keith denies anything, is off base. The following day, Tess goes for her meeting. As she ventures outside, she is amazed to see that the wide range of various houses encompassing the Airbnb appear to be deserted and frail. Tess then at that point goes to meet Bonnie at the cafe. Everything works out positively until Tess specifies where she is remaining, and Bonnie cautions her to leave rapidly. At the point when Tess gets back to the house, a man named Andre, James Stewart, pursues her and advises her to escape the house. Albeit a piece frightened, Tess continues on ahead and wins out, going down toward the cellar. The entryway locks behind her, and she has left her telephone on the kitchen table. She then, at that point, finds a rope joint to the wall and tracks down a mystery access to a passage. Notwithstanding some underlying reluctance, Tess goes into the passage for a smidgen. She runs over a room with a bed, a camera, and a ridiculous, hand-shaped impression on the wall, as well as a flight of stairs going further down, making her freak out. She runs back to the storm cellar and sees Keith outside, so she inspires him to assist with getting her out. Tess clears up for Keith what she saw and says they need to leave. Keith attempts to console her that there isn't anything significant down there, so he goes to look at it. Inevitably, Tess goes searching for Keith, and she strolls down the flight of stairs. She hears Keith shouting and calling for help. Tess tracks down him in the passage, and he says something messed with him. Before they can run, a stunning stripped humanoid monster, the Mother Matthew, Patrick Davis, shows up and crushes Keith's head until he is dead before she thunders at Tess. An undisclosed measure of time. Later screenwriter A.J. Gilbride, Justin Long, is driving when he gets a call from his partners. They let him know he is being dropped from their most recent venture on the grounds that a lady is claiming that A.J. assaulted her. He keeps up with his honesty. However, even his bookkeeper drops him from portrayal. A.J. later goes out with a companion, everything except through and through, conceding that he forced the lady into sex. A.J. later leaves state to the house he is leasing, which happens to likewise be the Barbary house. He shows up and tracks down Tess here prior to going into the cellar to examine. He is found and pursued by the mother before he falls into a pit where Tess is being kept to. Hulk back to at some point in the 80s, when Barbary Road was loaded with occupants. A man named Straightforward, Richard Brake, who lives in a similar house, goes to a store to get child items. He then at that point detects a young lady and follows her back to her home. Honest dresses as a man from the electric organization to get inside her home and open her restroom window. At the point when he gets back, his neighbor, Kurt Bornler, tells Honest that he and his better half are selling their home. Back in the present, Tess advises AJ to be tranquil and quiet down. The mother then brings down a child bottle down into the pit, which Tess drinks from. Yet AJ is less willing. The mother enters the pit and deals with Tess like her kid. However, she snarls and shrieks toward AJ. Tess and AJ figure out how to move out of the pit and start to advance out. Yet AJ is abandoned and caught in a room where the mother compels him to breastfeed of her. Tess figures out how to break the window to the cellar and is pulled out by Andre before the mother can contact her. Andre attempts to take Tess to somewhere safe and secure. However, she demands returning to free AJ. Tess calls the police. Yet when they show up, they accept that she is a strung-out junkie because of her rumpled appearance. She carries them to the house. However, since she has no confirmation that there is any proof of wrongdoing, the police leave. Tess holds on until it gets Delta break into the house and get her keys. At the point when she gets into her vehicle, the mother rises and attempts to break into Tess' vehicle, yet she crashes into the side of the house to attempt to kill the mother. However, it just momentarily takes her out. In the meantime, AJ has advanced into a room where he tracks down Forthcoming, confined to bed and near death. AJ sees a few tapes that Forthcoming has kept of the ladies he has assaulted throughout the long term. As AJ calls him out for how wiped out he is, 𝐸𝐚𝐫 takes out a weapon and shoots himself in the head. AJ gets the weapon and leaves the room. Tess is down there and shouts to him, making AJ get alarmed and pull the trigger. Tess is shot in the midsection, yet AJ assists her with escaping the house. At the point when they get outside, Tess sees that the mother isn't where she initially was. She tells AJ she knows where they can hurry to. Tess brings AJ somewhere near the water, where Andre advised her to go for security. He clears up for them that 𝐸𝐚𝐫 possessed the house and was probably the source that booked the people in question. He would capture ladies and assault them, delivering kids that he would likewise assault. And the mother is a result of perverted assault that has been in the house for north of 40 years. Albeit certain that she can't find them, Andre is immediately disproved when the mother rises and rips his arm off, then pounds the life out of him with it. Tess and AJ run for well-being and advance up a water tower. AJ drops the weapon, similarly as the mother begins making up for lost time to them. AJ figures he can make up for himself and save the two of them, so he snatches Tess and loses her, the pinnacle, realizing the mother will naturally pursue her child. AJ runs down and sees the mother, apparently dead. Similarly, as he attempts to legitimize his activities to Tess, the mother springs back up and gouges AJ's eyes out with her thumbs, prior to breaking his head into. The mother then slithers over to support Tess, who snatches the firearm. She has a slight look of regret all over before she pulls the trigger. Tess then gets up and leaves the region to definitely stand out. Tess Marshall shows up at 467 Barbary Road to remain at an Airbnb, just to find it has been twofold reserved with another man named 𝐒𝐚𝐽𝐻. Tess stays the evening, yet rapidly finds a vile presence sneaking in the house, since there is a secret passage in the storm cellar. Keith winds up down there and is killed by a humanoid monster known as the Mother. A screenwriter, AJ Gilbride, who is confronting assault charges, goes to a similar house, since he is now leasing it. He winds up in a pit in the cellar alongside Tess as the mother deals with her casualties, like her children. While Tess cooperates, AJ is less willing. Tess can get away, however she gets no assistance from the police, so she holds on until it's to return into the house to assist with liberating AJ. Finds a man named Forthcoming, who is the mother's dad, confined to bed and near death. In the wake of seeing proof of Blunt's violations in tapes, straight to the point, shoots himself in the head. Tess tracks down AJ, yet he coincidentally shoots her in the mid-region. They run from the mother and find a vagrant Andre, who prior cautioned Tess about being in the house. He makes sense of that the mother is
a result of interbreeding,
since plagued
hijacked and assaulted ladies, and afterward
assaulted the kids, which is the reason that
mother is what she is.
she appears and kills Andre
Prior to pursuing Tess and AJ
at the water tower. AJ makes an endeavor
to take care of himself,
by losing Tess the pinnacle, realizing the
mother will
intuitively
attempt to safeguard her.
it doesn't kill her, and the mother parts AJ's
Skull into Tess
snatches the weapon
and views bitterness,
all over before she kills the mother,
and afterward
leaves to find support